and welcome to Nationwide on this special Democracy Day in Nigeria. I am Ifoma Ojintan. President Muhammadu Buhari has acknowledged the resilience of Nigerians in upholding the democratic tenets. The president was speaking in a broadcast to mark Democracy Day. State House correspondent Jide Onifade tells us more.
It is 1 year now that President Muhammadu Buhari, at the Made in June 12 Democracy Day, promised to frontally address the nation's daunting challenges, especially insecurity, the economy, and corruption. On this day of another celebration of democracy in the country, the president is here giving account of those promises he made.
We have recorded notable achievements in the course of implementing our 9 priority objectives. Government has continued to implement accountability and transparent policies through the Open Government Partnership and the Transparency Portal on financial transactions. Similarly, we have strengthened auditing and accountability mechanisms so as to ensure that rules and regulations are followed strictly. Anti-corruption agencies have secured more than 1,400 convictions and also recovered funds in excess of 800 billion naira. These monies are being plowed into development and infrastructure projects.
We are establishing a solid foundation for future success, the president says, stressing that the objectives of his administration have remained to stabilize the macroeconomy, achieve agricultural and food security, ensure energy sufficiency in power and petroleum products, and develop infrastructure, as well as fight corruption and improve governance.
Our efforts on growing non-oil exports have started to yield some results. For instance, in the first year, our revenue from cocoa and sesame seed increased by $79.4 million United States dollars and $153 million United States dollars.
The president is elated that work has commenced on his directive on the employment of 774,000 Nigerian youths. As the president explains, these youths will be engaged in special public works program aimed at cushioning the effect of economic downturn. On COVID-19 pandemic, President Buhari says he is confident that the steps being taken by the Presidential Task Force would result in flattening the curve, while imploring investors, researchers, and scientists to come up with solutions to cure COVID-19. The president says government is determined to turn the challenge to motivation by building a nationwide public health care system that will take care of present and any future outbreak.
Humanity and indeed democracy is under the threat of COVID-19. Nigeria has survived many crises before and came out stronger. I am confident that by God's grace, we shall overcome this one and emerge stronger and more purposeful.
The president also dedicates most part of his broadcast to the nation's National Assembly for their cooperation, the youth population, women, and people living with disabilities, as well as the media, and not forgetting the military and other security agencies.
I salute your courage, enterprise, and resilience, as well as your contributions to national development.
President Muhammadu Buhari promises to uphold the Constitution and protect the lives and property of all Nigerians, stressing that his administration would focus on ensuring that the rule of law prevails. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NJ News.
A repeat of the president's broadcast comes up tonight at 10 p.m. on the network service of the NTA. All stations are advised to hook up for the broadcast. Also, a special documentary on President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, real and verifiable achievements, will be transmitted on the network service of the NTA on Sunday at 7 p.m. All stations are to hook up for this special program. Now, life is gradually coming back to the renamed Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, following the official unveiling on Democracy Day, June 12. Tamara Ebiwe was there for NTA News.
It's 1 year the National Stadium Abuja was renamed after late MKO Abiola for his contributions to sports development by President Muhammadu Buhari. The identity of this national monument is in its signage at Moshood Abiola National Stadium. The unveiling of the signage, which was done by President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello, was witnessed by Youth and Sports Minister Sunday Dare and other top government functionaries.
It is only right that Chief MKO Abiola, a great lover of sports, a man who understood the true impact and unifying power of sports, be placed at the very center where people gather together, discard their differences, and become one as fans in the sporting arena.
So the pitch will come back very soon. But you can also see that this stadium is functional. 75%, 80% functional. The grass does not represent functionality. The swimming pool is working, the indoor sports hall are working, the 60,000 seats in the stadium are FIFA compliant, the tracks are okay, so we'll get there very soon.
You know, this is a man that has committed a lot of his resources to the development of sport in this country. And beside that, he was a man that laid down his life for the democracy we are all enjoying today. So I want to thank Mr. President and salute his courage.
This is so significant that there's no other way to honor him than to name this landmark, which is actually at the gate of Abuja, which is actually at the entrance of the capital territory of Abuja after this Nigerian. So we should be extremely grateful to President Muhammadu Buhari for doing this.
It was a feeling of fulfillment for the Abiola family, who commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his recognition of the late pillar of sports in Africa.
It's unfortunate that we spent 27 years to get this far, 25 years to get the recognition, 27 years to get this far, but it's never late. Justice has been done, and that's what is more important.
It is believed that the renaming of this national monument after the late Moshood Abiola will further spur others to contribute to different aspects of national development. From the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
Nigerians have expressed optimism in the restored liberalized political process, devoid of ethnicity and religion, symbolized by the June 12, 1993 presidential election. Standpoints of guests on NTA's program, Good Morning Nigeria, Alika Okpanachi Arua reports.
The conversation on the commemoration of 2020 Democracy Day was preceded by a 40-minute presidential broadcast to the nation. Analyzing the presidential broadcast, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, described it as apt and captured the essence of the celebration.
On two counts, the president literally apologized to Nigerians. One on the issue of the recent killings in Borno and Katsina, and on the lockdown situation, the difficulties that it has caused, clearly saying that it could not have been done in a different way.
In the words of Rensola Abiola, daughter of late MKO Abiola, the declaration of June 12 as Democracy Day and the award conferred on her father by President Buhari is a mark of a true leader.
It shows that the president is a man of his word. It shows that he's a man of justice. It shows that he's somebody who knows the right thing to do.
On his part, the Director General, Abiola Campaign Organization, identified subversion of the will of the people and the arbitrariness of the people in power as a major lessons from June 12.
Mistakes can be made, errors can be made, in fact, deliberate ones can be made. But along the way, God will always produce leaders that will be able to correct those.
The reminder should be that those who aspire to rule Nigeria should aim in their own personal capacities, both in public office and outside public office, to show good exemplary leadership.
The guests, however, urged Nigerians to comply with COVID-19 preventive protocols while commemorating the day. In Abuja, Alika Opanachi, Arua, NT News.
In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress has congratulated Nigerians on the occasion of the 2020 Democracy Day. A statement by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Lanre Issa Onilu, said the declaration of June 12 as Nigeria's Democracy Day by the APC-led federal government has further cemented the credentials of President Muhammadu Buhari as a true and genuine Democrat by recognizing and appreciating the sacrifices of many Nigerians in the enthronement of democracy in the country and the ultimate price paid by the presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, Chief Moshood Abiola. In the meantime, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has felicitated with Nigerians on this year's Democracy Day, the second time it is being celebrated on June 12. The President of the Senate said, June 12 has become a metaphor in Nigeria for free, fair and credible elections. Similarly, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has said since 1999 Nigeria has come a long way in democratic practice, noting that the country's system is growing by the day. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Lanre Lasisi, the Speaker said he believes Nigeria has learned a lot in the last 21 years of uninterrupted democracy, urging Nigerians to remain united in the face of daunting challenges facing the country. Also, the Niger State Governor and Chairman North Central Governors Forum, Abubakar Sani Bello, felicitates with President Muhammadu Buhari for the giant stride achieved towards consolidating democracy and instituting good governance in the country. The governor expressed optimism in the ability of the president to continue to deliver service for the people and return the country on the trajectory of peace, progress and development. Nigerians in Benin are optimistic that observance of this day will strengthen. Sorry for that. Now, Nigerians have been urged to eschew virtues capable of truncating the stride so far recorded through the 21 years of unbroken democracy. Some residents of Owerri, the Imo State capital, made this known while reacting to the 2020 Democracy Day celebration. Kingsley Ononiwu has details.
Since independence in 1960, Nigeria has had interruptions in her democracy occasioned by different military coups. The story, however, changed for good with the 1999 general elections and subsequent inauguration of President Olusegun Obasanjo on May 29. This has since produced successive civilian administrations for 21 years running.
My assessment is that every Nigerian should be happy and give thanks to God.
In Nigeria, we are free.
The worst civilian rule is better than the best military rule.
Across section of Imo residents, while expressing their view on what they described as a remarkable achievement, speak on the way forward for the nation's hard-earned democracy.
If we can overhaul INEC in Nigeria, I think it will go a long way.
Institutionalization is the way to go.
Nigeria must find a way of ensuring that INEC conducts their elections properly.
We needed to improve on our democracy, but we don't need to take all this long.
They remark that the time has come for politicians to put patriotism ahead of any political interest.
Politicians of nowadays believe in power. If their party happen to lose an election, they will all decamp.
In Owerri, Kingsley Ononiwu, NTA News.
Ruth in Lagos has some developing reports on Democracy Day. It's over to you, Ruth.
Thank you, Ifoma. Indeed, Nigeria's democracy re-echoes the journey of political gladiators to democratic freedom. Today, June 12, is indelible in Nigeria's history, as it is the second time Nigeria will be celebrating it as Democracy Day. Dr. Oguyemi went to town and reports on the mood of the city. Hello, Dr.
Thank you, studio. It was on this day in history, June 12, 1994, that the late MKO Abiola, here in Ekpetedo, Lagos Island, declared himself president of a new government of national unity. At the Ikeja residence of late MKO Abiola, it is the celebration of a life that stood for the entrenchment of democratic rule in the country.
So the significance is that it allows even our children to understand the essence of democracy in this country. Where are we coming from? We must understand our history. So that's why even Lagos State government is no longer an agitation. It's now a celebration of part of the history of our country.
We must embrace free and fair election. I think more than anything else, that is what June 12 as a public holiday is meant. It's meant to keep us constantly reminded of what happened on that day. That must never be allowed to happen again.
We are happy that the government has finally recognized June 12 as a memorable day for Nigeria's democracy. But we also say that we want to celebrate democracy in Nigeria in truth and in deed.
We still believe in this current administration. We know they can do things, but they can still make things better.
Many have also called for electoral reforms in order to ensure that the country builds on the gains of its present democracy. And it's back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Dr. Lagos State is redefining democratic ideology by continuing in its principle of equal participation, regardless of cultural diversity. It is a process defined by the All Progressives Congress and has consistently delivered gains equal to the June 12 ideology. Michael Olaleye in this report examines democracy as a system of government, the Lagos experience.
I do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. It's 21 years since democratic practice was reinvented in Nigeria, and Lagos State has been so faithful to one democratic ideology, the progressives. This is the practice which has paid off based on the immense dividends delivered to the citizenry by engendering equal and fair participation without ethnic or religious bias.
54 hectares of land has been reclaimed.
Kabiru Ahmed is from Katsina State. He is a typical example of Nigerians who hold appointive and elective positions outside their states. He believes Lagos State has driven its democratic principles to where competency is placed above sentiment and tribalism.
In the case of Lagos, it is your capacity, your ability, and what you can do that comes first. I have served the state as vice chairman of Abuja local government in the past. So these are all series of sequences. And in actual fact, the issue of ethnicity, instead of it to become a disadvantage to me, rather, Lagos has been able to harness it. I can say it's an advantage to me. And once you are recording success, you become the best friend of Lagosians.
He is not the first to benefit from the robust participatory system of government instituted by the first governor, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Samuel is another, and not in his widest imagination will he had dreamt of becoming the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget when search for greener pasture brought him to Lagos in 1992.
Lagos has shown a particular level of resilience politically, and I think it can be ascribed to how the fathers and the leaders of the party, APC, has held on, right from the time of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu up till now. You can see the robustness of the foundational work that has been done. You must give credence to any party that is able to do that. You can see a lot of continuity. There's a development plan that we are all following. Even the budgeting process or methodology is extremely robust.
Lagos, through this act of political benevolence, has recast the unity and collective goal exhibited by Nigerians on June 12, 1993. Joe Igbokwe, the former spokesperson of the APC in Lagos, did not just have a series of books to chronicle the June 12 experience. He has the facts on his fingertips.
We struggled. You can bury injustice. You can kill injustice. You can bury it. But it has a way of coming out. Truth is as constant as northern stars. You cannot destroy it.
Lagos has laid a solid foundation for democracy to thrive at a state level, and it is a practical example of how faithfulness in any relationship can deliver unimaginable gains. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NT News.
Informa in Abuja is waiting to bring us more Democracy Day reports, but first, let's take a break.
I wish to once again commend the frontline workers across the country who, on a daily basis, risk everything to ensure we win this fight. For those who got infected in the line of duty, rest assured that government will do all it takes to support you and your families during this exceedingly difficult period. I will also take this opportunity to assure you all that your safety, well-being, and welfare remains paramount to our government. I am using this opportunity to express our deepest condolences to the families of all Nigerians that have lost their loved ones as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is our collective loss, and we share your grief.
Nigerians, let us take responsibility. Stay healthy, stay safe, and curb the spread of the virus. Take responsibility. The coronavirus spreads from one person to another. Let us avoid crowd gathering of any kind for any reason. Take responsibility. Avoid traveling from one state to another during these lockdown restrictions. Obey all the rules that are put in place. Take responsibility. Stop spreading fake news and unverified reports about the coronavirus. There is no known cure for COVID-19. Take responsibility. Observe all the measures that can help stop the spread of the virus. Together, we can do this, but only if we take responsibility. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
In times like this, the coronavirus is spreading so fast. The use of face masks has become very vital. More importantly, for the elderly in the society whom their immune system is not strong enough to fight the disease. If you must go out, use a face mask. It is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Wear your mask, I wear my mask. So much to do, but stay at home for your own safety. Make an extra washable mask and share with your neighbor. Everyone should use a face mask once you leave home to be safe from the coronavirus, especially the elderly persons in our society. Protect me, I'll protect you. This message was brought to you by the Coalition of Societies for the Right of Older Persons in Nigeria, COSRAPPing, in collaboration with the National.
Shabi, you still come back to this house?
Yeah, so you cannot even support your husband. Eh?
Support who? You said men are the head of the family.
How to get here? Allah, how to get here?
Feminism is all about equal right and opportunity for women.
Settle your matter in your home.
You can't keep comparing Agatha and Uchechi. Agatha is Agatha. Uchechi is Uchechi.
You're welcome back. Edo State's Governor Godwin Obaseki and 2 others aspiring to participate in the June 22nd APC Edo governorship primary have been disqualified from participating in the exercise. Chairman of APC Edo Governorship Screening Committee, Professor Jonathan Ayuba, said those disqualified did not meet the party's requirements due to disparity in their documents submitted. Details will come in subsequent bulletins. We now go to Ibadan, and Kemi has a lot for us on Democracy Day. Hello, Kemi.
And welcome to Ibadan. Residents of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, have been observing Democracy Day with great enthusiasm. They were particularly impressed by the speech delivered by President Muhammadu Buhari on this special day, June 12. Correspondent Larry Belay is on the streets of Ibadan.
Here in Oyo State, June 12, now our new Democracy Day, is not only a welcome development, but a means of addressing the elephant in the room in the socio-political landscape of the country. And with this euphoria, Nigerians listen to what the president has to say, where he gave the account of his stewardship to Nigerians. I have with me here Mr. Yemi Giwa, a lawyer.
But I want to say categorically that this is one of the best speeches he has made since he has become the president of this nation, in terms of delivery, in terms of the composure, in terms of the content of his speech. I commend that. It's much more reassuring and a way of awakening Nigeria from slumber, those who have are almost losing faith in this government. He has assured the nation that they will do better and improve on what they are doing.
One was happy to hear that Nigeria is now ranked 131st for 146 position that it was among in the ease of doing business graph in the whole world. Is gratifying. This tells us that people will now be interested in investing in Nigeria.
The president emphasized that his focus is on the 9 priority areas of his administration, which ranges from education, transportation, economy, just to mention a few. The president also acknowledged the trying times we are in brought about by COVID-19, where stringent measures to curb the spread of the disease has brought constraints on livelihoods of many Nigerians. He also hailed medical personnel and essential workers who are at the forefront of curbing the spread of this deadly virus. From me here, Larry, from Ibadan Metropolis, is back to the studios.
Thank you very much, Larry. And with me to talk more on Democracy Day is the chairman, Ibadan East Local Government Area, in person of Abiodun Babalola. You're welcome to our studios.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, so we know that President Muhammadu Buhari in 2018 made a declaration concerning June 12 as Democracy Day. What's your opinion of this declaration?
Yeah, it's just a proof that collectively we have agreed to acknowledge that June 12 was fairest and the fairest election. So that's what I see to the declaration, that collectively we have agreed that it was given a nod. And it's also proof that there is no how far the force would have traveled, the truth will catch up with it. So that's what I see.
Okay, one of the factors that make June 12 celebration worth the while is the electoral system. How do you see this, and what are some areas that need to be improved upon by present-day system?
Yeah, of course, June 12 laid the foundation for our national democracy. And of course, the electoral process also was a very good one that came in. But in the electoral system, what we just need to do about it is just to digitize it, remove a lot of human face to data to avoid manipulations. So that's what I think the way we can use to improve the electoral process.
Okay, then we have experienced so far 21 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. do you think there are areas that we need to improve on?
Yeah, obviously, a lot of areas to improve on, and the reason is not far-fetched. If we actually practice the federal system of governance the way it ought to be, all those lapses will take care of itself. Ranging from the issue of not giving local government the autonomy, state policing, concentrating of power to center, and for people to actually get this, feel the dividend of democracy, the grassroots people are the nearest to government. I think more power to be given to the local government.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Speaking with the chairman, Ibadan East Local Government Area, Abiodun Babalola. Thanks for coming to us.
It's my pleasure.
Moving on now. In a bid to stem the tide of incessant sexual assault on women and the increasing level of rape cases in the country, the International Federation of Women Lawyers has called on government to fight against such societal ills. Kayode Oladoshu has the report.
Outcry over inhuman assault against the girl child, the rampant level of rape and other violence against women in our society have continued to generate interest from different organizations. Such is the International Federation of Women Lawyers in Oyo State, making it a call to register their stand to all regulatory agencies in the fight against this horrible act.
Faith-based institutions, community leaders must also speak out and condemn such acts. The shaming, victimization, and stigmatization of victims of gender-based violence must stop.
With the current campaigns against rape and other forms of sexual abuse in the country, concerned authorities chart a way forward in curbing the menace.
I've worked together with the Ministry of Women's Affairs and Social Intervention for purposes of having a law that will set up a team. I want to say categorically that we have to work harder and put much more pressure on the legislators and the executive on this.
With efforts being taken to unravel the mystery behind many rape cases in the country and stiff punishment to offenders, it is expected that this unwholesome behavior will be nipped in the bud. In Ibadan, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
And that does it from Ibadan. Ifoma takes it from here for more on Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Kemi. There have been observable changes in the Nigerian Senate in the last 1 year. Positive ones, so to say. These are not structural changes, but changes in philosophy, tactics, and tune. First, it was in the nature of legislature-executive relationship and then the pace of bill passage and resolutions. Ignatius Onkwo in this report will give you an overview of the Senate in the last 12 months.
At inception, there were issues that stared the new legislative chamber in the face, begging for reconsideration.
Our determination is to evolve a well-resourced Senate with a vision and a great sense of commitment to securing a prosperous future for our great nation.
It was clear the new legislative chamber had a lot in its plate. Changes in budget process, swift attention to bills, conclusive investigative process, and most importantly, improved relationship with other arms of government, especially the executive, and transparency in legislative budgeting were conspicuously on the radar.
I think it's more on the legislative agenda set by the leadership when we first came in a year ago.
Yeah, as you are aware, the Nice Senate is a very active Senate.
The Senate took off at full throttle. Before 6 months, it had reconstructed its seemingly sour relationship with other arms of government. This gave birth to seamless law-making process. 14 bills were passed, including major economic bills. The Deep Offshore Amendment Bill, which expanded Nigeria's oil revenue. The Finance Bill 2019 that restructured Nigeria's tax base and removed agricultural and some pharmaceuticals from taxation. And the Public Procurement Act Amendment Bills aimed at reducing delay in the process.
The way in which Mr. President submitted and within less than 3 months it was passed, I think that's a big achievement.
The working relationship with the executive reached a crescendo when it passed the 2020 budget without any dissension. Less than 3 months it was presented by President Muhammadu Buhari.
The essence of passing the budget at that early period was to return the budget to the normal budget cycle from January to December.
As you are aware, this Senate, much as we want to do the right things in the interest of Nigerians, we ask the right questions, but we want to collaborate and cooperate with the executive, because that's the only way you can move the country forward. That's the only way citizens can benefit.
Between June 2019 to date, the Senate considered 77 motions and confirmed more than 70 appointments, but it received criticism over the purchase of alleged expensive cars for its members and the introduction of the social media and hate speech bills.
Then you expect that after 4 years, that vehicle should be given to another director to use?
The Senate in the last 1 year lost 3 members. Well, the Senate has been hands-on in its COVID-19 interventions, such as meeting relevant stakeholders and approving intervention funds. And then the Senate has also amended the 2020 budget to be able to meet with the realities of the time. But Nigerians will also be expecting more in months to come. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has announced the confirmation of Mr. Patrick Giwa as substantive clerk of the House of Representatives. The newly reconstituted National Assembly Service Commission confirmed the appointment. While congratulating Mr. Giwa on this appointment, the Speaker urged him to remain diligent, resourceful, and hardworking. Mr. Giwa started his working career in 1987 and has been the acting clerk of the House since November 2018. And next on the line is Sokoto, and Asmau is ready for us on Nationwide.
Good afternoon and welcome to Sokoto. The shifting of Democracy Day from 29th May to June 12 has been described as a welcome development in the democratic system of Nigeria. A professor of political science at the Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, Tanko Yahaya Baba, stated this while speaking with Shehu Muhammad Datti in Sokoto.
Good afternoon, viewers. Nigeria's Democracy Day has been shifted from 29th May to 12 June by the present administration. At the same time, it's 5 years now that the present administration is leading the country. With me is Professor Tanko Yahaya Baba, who will enlighten us on the efforts being made by the present administration to defend democracy and the shift in the Democracy Day from 29th May to 12 June.
Yeah, I think the shift is largely born out of the need to recognize the efforts of those who struggled for democracy, activists and advocates of democracy who actually paid the supreme price against in their struggle against military rule. Remember, the annulment of June 12 presidential election had actually generated tension and debates as to whether or not the military will ever leave the political scene. And those people who actually insisted that the military must hand over power to civilian or must recognize the June 12 election had actually contributed in no small measure in the speedy return of Nigeria to democratic civil rule. We can say that certain successes have been recorded because Nigeria's democracy is still intact. There is no threat of a breakdown of democratic regime, but then a lot needs to be done. Respect for other branches of government, respect for judiciary, respect for the rule of law, effort towards entrenching accountability, transparency and probity in the management of people's affairs, efforts to actually ensure fair, free and credible elections. These are issues that the government must commit itself to.
Well, viewer, that has been from Tanko Yahaya Baba of the Political Science Department, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. It's back to you in the studio for continuation of Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Shehu. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol says the automation of the state civil servants' payroll data has enabled the state government to save over 1.7 billion naira in 7 months. He stated this while receiving the technical report on the harmonized staff payroll at Government House, Sokoto. Dalatu Abdullahi reports that the governor also directed the automation of the local government staff payroll.
On assumption of office in 2015, the present administration in Sokoto State discovered a discrepancy in the figures of the state civil servants at the office of the state head of service and the state minister of finance. This necessitated the state government to embark on harmonizing the payroll data devoid of any ambiguity. Though the exercise encountered a lot of challenges, the desired result is said to be achieved. The size of the state workforce is reduced to 29,583, and government is now saving 254 million naira monthly from the salaries. Receiving the technical report, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol said the recent development has made Sokoto to join the leading states with harmonized staff database with fully automated payroll system.
We've received a report from your committee on a fully automated payroll system for the state. It's not a small achievement. So once again, thank you. I enjoyed working with you. You have never for one day let our trust and confidence in you suffer.
In another development, Permanent Secretary Sani Garbashuni has been sworn in as the new head of service in Sokoto State. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol challenged the new head of service to allow his track records of service to bear on the state civil service. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's it from here. The news will continue with Ifoma in Abuja. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Asmao. Now, Nigeria's internal security architecture was facing issues of insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, and many more when President Buhari assumed power in 2015. 5 years after, how has the internal security fared? Correspondent Francis Form has raised police performance in this special report.
Security was one of the tripods on which President Buhari prioritized on assumption of power, just as promised during the campaigns. Being responsible for internal security, the police was at the center of attention as their technical capacity was improved between 2016 and 2019 with the acquisition of a forensic lab and GSM tracking devices. Not even the change of baton barely a month to the general elections in 2019 could slow down the reforms as President Buhari appointed Mohammed Adamu as the 20th Indigenous Inspector General of Police.
We must be professional. We must never take side.
The new Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, launched a security exercise named Operation Puff Adder, a special, proactive and intelligence-driven police operation designed to reclaim the landscape from the criminals through the deployment of men and machines. The re-establishment of the Ministry of Police Affairs, analysts say, further demonstrated the commitment of the government to improve the performance of the police.
Through policies, programs and guidelines that will see to the improvement of training, equipping and general policing in this country.
Just when many thought the police has had enough to make it function, President Buhari set up the Nigeria Police Trust Fund to further assist in meeting the operational and logistics requirements needs of the police. In December 2019, President Buhari inaugurated the Nigeria Police Command and Control Center and first phase of the Nigeria Police Crime and Incident Database Center at the Force Headquarters. Similarly, newly acquired patrol vehicles and police smart surveillance CCTV camera on the move vehicles, armored personnel carriers, and other state-of-the-art surveillance equipment were inaugurated to enable the police be in tune with the 21st century policing.
These equipment are the things we are using that gives us upper hand against the bandits.
President Buhari approved the recruitment of 10,000 3,000 extra police personnel on an annual basis to motivate and enhance the manpower of the force. The Nigeria Police is also enthused with the creation of an additional department, 5 zonal commands, and autonomy of the Force Intelligence Bureau in Abuja. Francis Form, NTA News.
As part of commitments to take more Nigerians out of poverty, the federal government is introducing reforms into the national social investment programs to generate opportunities in entrepreneurship for the youth population. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that this was part of the fallout of inter-ministerial meeting organized by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development.
This meeting between the Inspector General of Police, the Director General of NAPTIP, the Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, and the Office of the Vice President is to collectively cooperate, synergize, and wage war against rape and other sexual offenses.
We need to have the names of all cases of rape that have been convicted by the Nigerian police, and I know they are in their thousands because every day I hear police arrested this person, prosecuted. I know they've done a lot. We need to partner, work together, have joint operations, joint investigations where the case arises.
What you'll be getting from us will be referrals from us, and then working with your men to make sure that both the evidence is there, the complainants are there to assist them in their investigation.
The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, explains that the force is repositioning the gender desk in all the police commands to effectively investigate cases of gender-based violence with a view to bringing the perpetrators to justice.
Right now, before me, I have statistics of all grave cases all over the country, state by state, since January this year. To tell you that on daily basis, as we receive them, we document them, we investigate them, and we prosecute them. We need to re-strategize in order to see that we don't give gap.
GP assures his guests of an enhanced working relationship to ensure safety and security of the citizenry. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
We sincerely apologize for that mix-up. That was actually the Inspector General of Police on incidences of rape in the country. It's now time for another break on Nationwide. To stay.
25th February 2020, Nigeria. It is real. It is a nightmare. It is killing people all over the world. It is COVID-19. Compliance with the various states in Nigeria, the current measures will flatten the curves. Shutting down is not an act of wickedness, but an act to save lives. Stay home, stay safe. Observe social distance. Always put on a face mask while leaving your house. Make sure you are on the tricycle alone. Cars and buses cannot carry more than half their passengers. Always remember to wash your hands. Together, we will defeat COVID-19. This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, Nigerian Film Corporation, powering possibilities.
We have observed the lockdown. We have practiced the measures in order to curb the spread of the virus, but we can do better. The coronavirus spread is increasing daily, and only together can we cut down the numbers and defeat the spread of the virus. Remember, COVID-19 is not a death sentence, and a recovered patient cannot spread the disease. Do not stigmatize. Do not hesitate to report any case, or if you have come in contact with anybody that has been infected with COVID-19. If you have cough and fever, please stay at home and call your state hotline. Find state numbers at www.covid19.ncdc.gov.ng. Remember, it is for your own good and for the good of every Nigerian. Let us do better and defeat the virus. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Okay, guys, let's do this. Action.
You can deceive everyone, but you certainly cannot deceive me. I see you.
But if the package is faulty, there'll be no buyers. So I suggest you sit down and have a talk with your husband.
Once you have faith, everything is possible.
You heard him, right?
You needed help and I helped you.
This place will do so. They also work in wolves.
You mean you still work for Matthew Osage?
What?
The number of the COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is increasing daily, with many more tests ongoing. The battle of testing, isolating, treating, and attending to the affected persons rests heavily on the shoulders of our health workers, constantly putting their lives on the line and at risk to contain this virus, save and protect the lives of millions of Nigerians. To these health workers, we at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, on behalf of millions of Nigerians, say a big thank you for all that you have done and are doing. To the security agencies enforcing the lockdown and every other frontliner, we say thank you for putting your lives on the line to save ours. There is no amount of words that can quantify our gratitude. Thank you. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Thanks for staying tuned. We now bring you the report on the interministerial chat on social investment. Abubakar Usman Akwanga, it's over to you.
The meeting underscored the progress of social investment programs and agreed to reduce the engagement period of NPAR beneficiaries to give room for more persons. The meeting also launched Integrated National Social Investment, which is intended to reposition NSHIP to cover enrollment of more vulnerable groups and provide access to shock-responsive interventions. The ministers also resolved to expand structures that will assist youth convert their knowledge into skills and improve opportunities.
We are really working on having a unified national social register, whereby we pull all these different data together to see how we can really achieve that.
For us in the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, in the last 5 years, all of these programs have taken place, focused on youth.
We made some calculation. Just for every 500 directors, we can create 300,000 youth employment.
The session further proposed the constitution of a technical working group to drive the implementation of the ministerial efforts. Women are not left out, as plans are underway to initiate and teach, and health and agro for them to leverage on with sustainable priority to develop and improve their well-being. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Let's now join Agatha in Benin for more reports.
Ifoma, a warm welcome to Benin. Ondo State government has blamed the continued rise in cases of COVID-19 in the state on the refusal of residents, especially sellers of essential and non-essential items, to obey containment regulations. In the last 2 days, the state has recorded another confirmed 12 cases of COVID-19, bringing the number to 54. Olajide Bello reports.
Ondo State government says it is worried about the steady rise in the number of COVID-19 infections in the state, in spite of the various containment measures put in place. The government blames the surge on the nonchalant attitude of the people and non-compliance with government directives on social distancing, hand washing and use of face mask. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Wahab Adegbero, confirmed that 8 new cases were recorded in the state in the last 2 days. As market operations continue with little or no regard for compliance with containment regulations, the state government promised to revisit its enforcement strategies aimed at curbing the community spread.
But out of the 3 cases from Akure, 1 is already dead. Mr. Governor's task force has been directed again to go out in full force and enforce the law. So we expect our people to understand this issue and, follow the COVID-19 protocol to the letter.
The state government also called on residents who are experiencing symptoms similar to COVID-19 to report at the state-owned hospitals for prompt medical interventions. From Akure, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
That's it from here. Ifeoma, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Agatha. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has announced 681 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria, making the total number of confirmed cases to 14,554. The breakdown indicates 345 in Lagos, 51 in Rivers, 48 in Ogun, 47 in Gombe, 36 in Oyo, 31 in Imo, 28 in Delta, 23 in Kano, and 18 in Bauchi. Edo and Katsina states have 12 each, Kaduna has 9, Anambra records 7, Jigawa 5, Kebbi and Ondo have 4 new cases, while Nasarawa State has 1. In total, there are now 9,673 active cases, with 4,494 patients discharged and 387 deaths recorded so far. And before we go, a reminder that the repeat of the presidential broadcast on Democracy Day comes up tonight at 11 p.m. on the networks. At 10 p.m. on the network service of the NTA. All stations are advised to hook up for the broadcast. Also, a special documentary on President Buhari's administration, real and verifiable achievements, will be transmitted on the network service of the NTA on Sunday at 7 p.m. All stations are to hook up for the special package. And that concludes Nationwide for today. We thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.